The co-chair of the Ministerial Advisory on COVID-19, Professor Koleka Mlisanis, welcomes suggestions by President Cyril Ramaphosa that vaccinations may need to become mandatory. Yesterday, the President announced a task team is being set up to look into making vaccinations mandatory to enter public events and other activities. And Mlisanis says what's needed now is to educate people about the importance of vaccination, especially as we currently have enough vaccines in stock.
As he mentioned very clearly, and I think every South African is now aware, that really if we are going to make an impact and be able to live with this pandemic, live with SARS-CoV-2, we need to do a few things, and we need to do those, almost 100%. And as we know, firstly, it becomes, the NPIs, social, public health and social measures. We need to stick to that. And then the main one becomes vaccination. And as he overemphasized last night, the importance of vaccination. Now, the challenge as a country that we have had insofar as vaccination is concerned is that we no longer have a problem with supplies. We've got, in fact, more than enough vaccines. We no longer have a challenge with vaccination sites. So, the sites are there. They are almost empty, most of them. What we really are in short of is people coming in for vaccination. Now, to get people to come in for vaccination, there has been a lot that we are all aware of negative talks, all the conspiracy theories. So there's an element of education that is required, and you can never educate, communities enough. But over and above that, I think, as Dr. Dasu says, I fully agree with him. I think we've come to a point now where a lot of means have been done to get people to come to vaccinate.
So the announcement of the new COVID variant, then government cancelling flights, I don't know about you, it all happened really very quickly. Thursday into Saturday, suddenly there was a lot of drama. That means that many people have had to cancel their plans, and worse, in some cases, people are literally stranded in different places. Well, two people affected by all of this join us now. Marion Gray-Wilson, her son was going to come to South Africa to get married in Lambert's Bay during the holiday season. Lindsay Vine-Smith was about to bring her children here to see their grandparents after she moved to the UK several years ago. Well, they both join us now. Good afternoon to both of you. Marion, if I may start with you, what happened to your plans? You've got a big family event planned, and suddenly a decision by the British government means it's all on hold.
Yeah, the red listing is very, very disappointing. We haven't seen our children since December 2019. It's been 2 years. It's absolutely heartbreaking. We have 70 people organised, 3 nights in Lambert's Bay. The economic effect on Lambert's Bay, I mean, they are crying. They're just waiting for us. We have grandparents in their late 80s, early 90s, who this is probably one of their last chances. So we are really devastated, and we don't think it's fair. I don't think this has been thought through properly, and I was really pleased to see what Cyril Ramaphosa's request was last night. So we still have hope, but let's see what happens.
It must also have happened so quickly. I mean, it went from the announcement of the new variant on Thursday, by sort of Friday afternoon, things were being cancelled.
Yeah, it was from the morning to the afternoon. Everything had changed. Also, there's a lot of uncertainty. It's the quarantine that is the problem. That is where, if we can bring them out, it's fine. But getting them back, 2 weeks quarantine in hotels at incredible cost is what the prohibitive situation is. And I mean, these kids live there. I don't know why they can't quarantine in their home. They have their own home there. So if we can get some negotiation going on stuff like that, that would be wonderful, because then we can still do it. But yeah, we're hoping. They're supposed to be flying on the 12th, and let's see.
And Lindsay, you had your flights booked, your kids were ready. I imagine you were all packed. You were coming out to see your parents, your children's grandparents. What happened?
Yeah, not quite packed yet. We were flying on the 13th, so 2 weeks today. And yeah, it would be the first time the kids have seen their grandparents in 3.5 years. I can't wait for a hug with my mum. We're so looking forward to seeing us. And, they're concerned about the grandchildren. They're 5 and 8, forgetting them. So we were all so looking forward to the trip home. And, of course, Christmas in South Africa is so nice and sunny as opposed to England. And yeah, Thursday night, my sister-in-law messaged me and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear the news." And I hadn't seen anything about it. So incredibly disappointing. We do still have a little glimmer of hope that maybe sense will prevail. But at this stage, we've heard nothing from the airline. I mean, there's no way that we can spend £4,000 is what it would cost us to quarantine when we come back. £4,000. And Stephen, I think you have kids as well. I mean, 10 days in a hotel room with a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old is not going to be pleasant, quite aside from the cost. So, yeah, very disappointing.
I mean, it's really, and it all happened so suddenly. I mean, to break the news to your parents, to break the news to your children is very, very tough.
It is.
Yeah,
Sorry, Lindsay, yeah?
The mental health situation is, the children are getting, the youngsters are getting depressed. We're all in the situation where we really need to see our loved ones. It's been a long time. I think many people are in the situation where it's 2-3 years they haven't seen people from overseas due to COVID. And I think the world knows how to handle COVID now. I think if you're responsible, we've all done the vaccination thing. I'm prepared to say anyone not vaccinated can't come. I just really need to see my children. And they want to see us. So, it's devastating right now.
I think we're raising a generation now of children who are becoming so resilient. Yes, the kids were very disappointed, but they almost know now that there's nothing predictable with coronavirus. We've all just had it, actually. So for 10 days, the kids were at home. 3 out of 4 in our family had coronavirus. Luckily, we didn't have it badly. But, they know that things happen and it's unpredictable. You just say coronavirus and they know that they just have to go with it.
And Lindsay, I mean, the difference also, you're saying to children, look, you can't go. It's, I think, 3 degrees currently in London, Google weather tells me. I mean, the difference in weather, I mean, it's about 25, 27 where I am in Joburg. I mean, it's a very different holiday.
Extremely. And yeah, I think that's also why they were looking so forward to it. Apart from seeing Granny and Grandpa, my mum can't wait to play dollies with the girls. I think that's one of the things she was looking forward to the most, and that she's missed the most with her grandchildren. It's a very different Christmas. We've learned to love Christmas in the UK. It can be quite magical, and if it snows, and it's very festive. But Christmas with your family that you haven't seen in a long time, yeah, it's not something that you can replace.
Well, Marion, I mean, this gets to the other point, is you're talking about 2 years since you've been able to see members of your family. People hold out for this, I think people went into the start of the pandemic thinking, well, I'll be able to hold out until this date. And then, Marion, suddenly that date just goes in a puff of smoke.
No, well, you live towards something. It's an event that's coming. The planning is incredible. Everybody's excited. We even went to Lambert's Bay to go and have a look and meet all the vendors and greet everyone, and everyone was excited. And now it's like a huge letdown. I mean, the dresses are bought, it's all done. But that's the frills. It just not seeing each other is really the crux of it all. But the disappointment it's really hard. They're taking it badly. I've had many calls from Lambert's Bay, other hotels and the venues that we've booked. Everyone is just waiting for an answer. So hopefully there's more news to come.
And Lindsay, I mean, I'm sure you have a background in journalism somewhere. I mean, if you look at what's been happening in British politics, it seems almost as if people there are trying to outdo each other to be tough on South Africa because we discovered the variant.
Yeah, it's politics, isn't it, Stephen? I mean, it's around the world. Politics, it works in different ways. I think England has had to be, or the UK has had to be proactive, specifically because they weren't seen as being proactive. Proves that they can fix it.
It is about that, isn't it? We'll have to leave it there. Lindsay Vine-Smith, thank you very much indeed. I hope that you're able to stay warm. I hope that you are actually able to get here. It would probably be the best outcome. Flights may be resuming soon. We'll see. Marion Gray-Wilson, thank you very much indeed. Congratulations in advance for the wedding. We know that it will happen at some point.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.
We live in hope. Thank you, Stephen. Much appreciated.
Thank you both for joining us. Good luck for the Christmas season.